So I've been thinking a lot about decision making lately, and if you're familiar with any of my work, this will come as no surprise. But there's a specific idea that I've been mulling over, and that idea is that we are the sum of our decisions. Now, this isn't a revolutionary idea. I imagine it's one that many of us hold to be true, but I think it's something that we tend to lose sight of. Take, for example, Abraham Lincoln's legacy. We know that his figure sits atop Mount Rushmore and that his image is impressed upon every penny that we touch. But we forget that Abraham Lincoln wasn't born on Mount Rushmore, that he wasn't predestined to reside there, and that for most of his life he was a relatively unknown politician from Illinois. When all we see is the end product of someone's life, we sit unaware of the twists, turns, and decisions that brought them there. We don't fully recognize all of the choices that they made to mold their character. One of my favorite Lincoln biographies was written by William Lee Miller, and he wrote that out of the margin of their freedom, human beings make choices. And he argued that Lincoln's important changes did not unfold through the working out of a pattern of nature. They came by his own intent, through thinking, and might otherwise not have happened. Lincoln was able to develop himself through the choices that he made, and he acted through that margin of freedom that he had to do so. Now, luck and circumstance play massive roles in our lives, and no one's going to be affected the same way. Luck and circumstance, unfortunately, will benefit some and restrict others. But the important thing to remember is that whatever the conditions of our life may be, it's our decisions that hold the power to shape the course of our life. A great example of this can be seen through the Great Migration, where millions of African Americans fled the South in hopes of a better life. And in her book, The Warmth of Other Suns, Isabel Wilkerson concludes on the thought that it was, if nothing else, an affirmation of the power of an individual decision, however powerless the individual might appear on the surface. In the simple process of walking away one by one, wrote the scholar Lawrence R. Rogers, millions of African American Southerners have altered the course of their own and all of America's history. If we understand that decisions hold this power, the power that can shape our own lives and the course of a nation's history, then it seems a bit foolish to me that we don't devote more of our time towards the study of decision-making. I'll admit that the subject of decision-making can come across as a little dry, and it's far from the exact science that it can pretend to be. But if we're going to subscribe to this idea that we are the sum of our decisions, it's hard for us to deny the importance of decision-making. When we do recognize the value of decision-making, it's usually in relation to the larger decisions of our lives. Things like going to college, buying a house, or getting married. These decisions are important, and they will have an impact on our life's trajectory, but they're probably the sort of things that we can count on our two hands. The reality is that the vast majority of our decisions are small. Researchers have found that each day we make nearly 200 decisions related to food alone. These decisions are so small, in fact, that we may not even recognize them as decisions. Many of them are repeated. Many of them will rely upon heuristics. Many of them might not even seem like they're all that important. But it's these decisions that will compound over time. And when we talk about this notion of we are the sum of our decisions, it's these decisions that we're talking about. We are all the sum of our decisions, but to borrow the words of David Epstein, the precise person you are now is fleeting, just like all the other people you've been. Decision-making is the underlying engine that drives who we were, who we are, and who we will become. And it's not just some tool that we dust off and bring out for life's biggest moments. It's the operating system we use to choose who we will become. Thanks for watching this video. It actually started out as a written piece for my newsletter. And if you're interested in things like decision-making, behavioral economics, and cognitive biases, then you might want to check it out. There's a link below, but you can also go to belseralex.com/newsletter.